Alrighty then. Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Percy. So I posted a photo last night on Instagram. Not last night, it was like towards the afternoon. I kind of asked, do you guys want me to do a fall craft tutorial, or would you prefer me to go ahead and make like an inking tutorial? Now I've already done an inking tutorial last year around this time, because I remember I was posting stuff on Instagram for Inktober, which I'm doing again this year, and people are asking me, they watched my video from last year, but they still don't understand. So maybe I can just touch base on a couple of things. Once again, I went ahead and I drew out Peter. Now the rules of Inktober, there aren't that many rules. Basically, just draw with ink. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, if you don't, then I really highly suggest that you follow me on Instagram so you can see all my Inktober submissions so far and for the rest of the month. So Inktober is basically just for fun. It was started by a really famous artist. I can't think of his name already, but he was famous. Yes, totally famous. But he started it. I want to say Jake Parker. I don't know. But he started this, and he just did it as a challenge for him to get better at inking. I only use, guys, seriously, this is the only thing I use for inking. There will probably be in the future a couple more things. Maybe I'll use some Copics, maybe I'll use a brush pen, Pentel brush pen, or anything like that. I don't know. But right now, all I have is this big pen, and I love it. It's just a regular ballpoint pen. You can do this with any ballpoint pen laying around your house. Once again, this goes back to shading. Okay, so I'm gonna pretend that my shading source is hitting Peter this way. So like when my shading source, I mean the sunlight. So I'm thinking that my sunlight is directly coming on Peter from this way over here. Now, if you are in art class, or if you have had art class, you will know that there is this typical like technique called CrossHatch. Now you can either use this with pencil or you can use it with a pen. I like using CrossHatch with my pen. So I line his whole entire body with my actual pen. Now, if I were to do CrossHatch on Peter, I'd say that the light source is hitting this way. So I'm gonna go in this vertical direction underneath his chin. Okay, it looks funny right now. Now, when the shadows are thicker, the thicker the crosshatch. So I go in a different direction than I just did. So I went this way, and then I went this way, like that, okay? And then, of course, when I get in here, between where his neck and his shirt is, there's a darker shadow in there. So I'm just gonna lightly color with my pen, and then make sure that's a nice dark line to show the difference. Now, a lot of you say that, like, how do you just color with it? Do not put too much pressure on your pen. Just and see, as I'm getting outward more, I'm leaving this area right here nice and white, because it's like a bright area where it's getting hit by the sunlight. This is more shadowy back here, so that's when I went this way first. Now I'm gonna go downward like this in this opposite direction, like that, okay? And then of course what I can do is I can go in this direction right here to make this darker. And this is still a form of cross-hatching, it's just that the lines are closer together because there's more shadows and everything. Okay, so he looks a little weird with that underneath him. So I'm just gonna go in like I was lightly coloring over here, lightly over here. I'm just gonna color in underneath right here. And then I'm gonna come underneath his chin on this side of his neck and very lightly, like this. I'm just gonna give a little bit of a shadow. Okay, a little shadow this way, but the shadow is thicker underneath his chin and everything. All right, now if I go into his eye area, so we have an eyelid, there's a little bit of an eyelash, eyeball, pupil, nose, okay. So those are all lined and ready to go. So that's when I'm just gonna lightly, like I was coloring over here on my shirt, I'm going to color over here. Like that, okay? Now that I have this area, here's my Peter's eyebrow right here, okay? So now I'm gonna go this direction, like that, okay? crosshatch is like that. It's like that all around. Now, whether you get like more of an open crosshatch, let's see where I could go. Oh, let's go to his hat. Alright, for his hat, let's go ahead and make a wider crosshatch. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and line it, make sure I have all of my final lines and everything like that. Okay, now I'm going to make a wider crosshatch like this. See how it's nice and wide like we were doing underneath his chin? And I get lighter as I get closer to the top because that's where my light source is hitting the hat. Okay, now of course, from back here, now I'm going to go in a more horizontal line against my vertical line like that. So I'm going to go ahead and line his ear, okay? So I go in a more horizontal line like this. Okay, then I'm going to go on top of that with another vertical line. And if you want, you can even come from a diagonal over here. Just like that. And then of course I'm going to go over here like that. And then I'm going to go this way. Like that, and then I'm going to come up, and then it gets lighter as I get closer to this area range because there's more sunlight up here, okay? And then of course I'm going to go ahead and go in this direction towards my other fold on my hat, like that, and then I'm going to come sideways like that, and then I'm going to go like that, alright? So that's more of a wider like variety of crosshatch and everything. Now, basically, the more you get closer to the actual definite line or the shadow, the darker you want to be. So I'm putting a little bit more pen pressure on this side just to make it darker, like that. All right. Now, so if I were to come to his chest, let's go ahead and jump down to his chest, his muscular manly chest, alright? I'm going to go ahead and line the areas that I want to absolutely be lined. Now, we're going to do another wide crosshatch again, where I'm going to make more evenly spaced lines, and of course, as I get closer to where my light source is hitting, I lay off a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to go like this. Just like that. So I go in, alright, so I went this horizontal diagonal way, and then I came down vertically. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, let's go in this direction. As I get closer to his arms, that's when I start piling different directions around and my lines get closer to each other. So basically I'm to the point where I'm shading like I was shading on his collar up here. Okay, and then I can come underneath his collar right here, and I'm going to go in another vertical line this way, underneath, and you see how they're smaller? Just like that, okay? So basically, you just have to go ahead and decide where is your light source hitting your person. And of course, once again, I do have a tutorial on shading. I do have another inking tutorial. If this video doesn't make sense, go look at my older one. Maybe that one will make more sense to you. But either way, both videos will probably help you and just for you to have a better understanding of how to ink and crosshatch and everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on forward. And I'm going to speed it up so you guys can see it. And once again, guys, I have an Anna time-lapse that I did of Anna last year. And I have an Olaf time-lapse that I did last year. And you can see how much minimal shading I had on Olaf just because he's a snowman. And he doesn't have that many shadows. So I'm going to go ahead, fast forward on Peter. Well guys, that's what I have to offer help on for inking. I'll basically go ahead, you draw it out with a pencil first. I drew out my Peter Pan with a pencil, and then I went in and I lined around. You want to make sure whatever definite lines are your definite lines, go ahead and line those in with just your pen. Make sure you erase till, I probably won't erase all the pencil marks off of this until probably like 10 minutes later, just in case that my eraser drags across the ink and it just spreads everywhere. Yeah, other than that, I really hope that helped. Make sure you check out my shading tutorial, my basic shading, because usually that really will help a lot if you know what direction your light is coming from, or what setting your character is standing in that will affect the lighting. Is it broad daylight or is it in the dark? It's it all depends. But yeah, I really hope this helped just a little bit, and I guess that concludes the Fall Palooza. I will see y'all later, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!